Hello, everyone. So today I would like to welcome to our interview Chad Wisneski, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing at 86 Foodservice. So this is the large food service company which based in Chicago, and SimplyDepo is very curious to learn more about your experience and your background, and also your view on the current challenges on the market and the way how you perceive the current market of the CPG. So couple of more words about Chad, so you know a little bit of his background. So he has like more than the 25 years experience in the sales leadership and the strategic marketing, and also most of the time he was focused obviously on growth and performance. So also, he worked for the last decades with the multiple of the CPG brands. So that is why it's also very interested to talk with him about this relationship. So Chad, very glad to have you here. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Alex. Appreciate you bringing me on board here, and hope you don't mind me in the home office this morning. It's a little quieter here before we jump into the hustle and bustle of a food service industry. So nice to chat with you.
It's amazing. I love your background. When you have so many details in the background, I started to look for interesting things.
Yeah, it's not one of those like a auto generated. It's like, you know what? No, family likes to read, so there you have it.
Nice. Great. So I think the first question would be, tell us a little bit about your daily routine. So what you're doing right now as the VP of Sales and Marketing at 86 Foodservice.
Sure. Well, we're three companies. We work in three different vertical markets. So 86 Foodservice really is kind of our global entity, but we service the restaurant industry, so in a traditional food service way, and with just our day-to-day supplies. And we also service a bakery industry with one of our companies, very specific, larger bulk items, very similar items, but more specific to bakeries and such like that. And then we also have a retail component where we are working with small grocery chains, not necessarily chains, but small mom and pop corner store groceries all across the Midwest. So three vertical markets, three beautiful challenges, and somehow we make it all work under one roof.
Nice. Also, in terms of understanding the size and the amount of operations. So I know we spoke with you about this before. So how many SKUs you're currently processing? So how much of the different stuff are there in the warehouse, on the shelves, etc.?
Sure. Right now, we're going to hold between 5,000 and 6,000 SKUs at our warehouse. And anybody who's in the warehouse industry, it's like, well, we need more. Well, not necessarily more, it's just more headaches, but nonetheless, we'll probably stock 5,000 to 6,000 SKUs at our facility. And outside of that, because if people have special requests, we have special order items, and that can get us up to 10,000 total products. But we have access with distribution today to well over 100,000 products at our fingertips should we want to jump in there and grab special items. But what we manage and cut off for the sake of our day-to-day operations, it's between 5,000 and 6,000 SKUs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty much an amount. So that's good. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so I think the first question would be, how do you work with the brands? So we know that there are so many interesting products out there, and sometimes we see more established products, and that's obvious that, yeah, it's super great to start working with them. But sometimes there are like a really great products, but which are in a very early stage of their development. So and how do you pick them? How you evaluate them, and how do you work with them? So can you little bit dive into this?
Sure. Well, obviously, I think the easiest ones are when you get customers who are asking you for specific items. Okay, so where we're proactively reaching out to manufacturers to carry their brands and going through all the processes to become and board, be a distributor of them. So those are the easy kills. Those are the guys who are established already. The Crafts of the world, and the Nabiscos and things like that, and Coca-Cola. But as we move into the next phase where you have the next wave of products coming at you, the CPGs, the guys that really want to get into the mainstream, because I mean, we're a distribution channel, so you're on everyone's radar. And so now you have these companies that are coming at you left and right, and you have to kind of evaluate them as they come in and see if it's going to be a market fit for your client base. So you're basically the person who's trying to figure out, okay, are people going to buy this? Is this something that that's trending? Is there some value? Is this an alternate brand that I can look at as, hey, this is a new cost-effective brand? I love those ones. I love it when someone tries to be a disruptor and come in an industry and say, hey, we're going against these guys, and we think that we've got a really good value proposition. And for us, it's like, great. So we love to be able to introduce that into our climate, but we have to pick and choose wisely, just to make sure that the classic case of, sounds great, let's buy X amount, and then it sits on your shelf collecting dust, and you're like, it didn't work out so well, you know. So it's a process. We try not to overthink the wheel, but you just want to have a good relationship and understand who they are, what kind of network they have, what kind of, you got to look at the products, and sometimes you have to throw a little guesswork out there, throw a little spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks, test the market a little bit for them. So that's kind of a bit about, you know, companies that will, how to find them and such. But I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I was answering your full question. So what you were inquiring about, how we find them, or how do they network?
How do you find them? How do you pick them? So in order to start basically working with them. So what are there maybe some requirements, right?
Yeah, there's multiple ways you can go about it. You can, obviously, from my perspective, back to my position, and again, I'm not a buyer, but I am kind of the filter who comes in, who I get all these requests. I probably get 3 to 5 vendors a day through all of our email channels, through all of our media, coming in, hey, we are so-and-so, we are looking to find a distributor. These are the products that we carry. And so I have to kind of siphon those, package those up, and I give them to my buyers. Hey, here's a new product. Are you interested? The other avenue is that you can do the old slap your best walking shoes on and go to a convention, and you go network, and you can go walk, and you're talking and you're doing deals. And if you find really good vendors and you're interested, and then you start the conversation, do the follow-ups, do the sample testings and things like that, look at the price points, make sure that you can price those things effectively. So there's multiple ways. So it's either coming at you, or you're going to go find them. You could also find, other channels, buying groups, things like that, that'll help leverage some buying power. But the landscape right now is just, it's all over. It's all over the place, so they're coming at you from all angles, and you're just trying to be a better fly trap.
I want to ask you, do you think the personal relationship can help a brand to get to the distributor, or it's just the business, right? And the product is the main? Because when you're talking, like, go and talk on the different, expos, meet each other, then do the follow-ups, and then, people get used to you. But what is more important from your opinion?
I guess maybe I'm a little old school, but I'm a face-to-face kind of guy. I mean, so the relationship means a lot, and I think that person speaks behind their brand. Sometimes the brand comes in so strong that things are really rolling that they really don't have to have a personality to back up a good quality product. But we have vendors that will actually door knock at our facility and come in. And I see this as a pattern that actually works very well. That some of the vendors that we work with today are the ones that show up. They're always kind of in your face. They're always kind of like giving you, hey, they're holding your hand. It's funny, some of the vendors that we purchase from, I was thinking about giving them some employee cards because they're in our facility more than some of my part-time staff. And I'm like, hey, you want to get a card? Come in here. But it makes a difference. It does. You really appreciate their hustle, but they're first on mind. I mean, so when they come in and they're in front of you, not necessarily if they don't have the ability to be in front of you, but if they are constantly communicating with you and discussing their product and staying on top of current trends, just making sure that they're there. If you're the silent supplier expecting just to get POs, unless you've got that unicorn product that we always want to get, you got to stay in front of them, and you have to make the communication channels work, and you have to always be working with your distribution channels.
Got it. Here is the marketing question. So when the brands are approaching you and saying, "Oh, we would like to work with you," so what would be the best things they can do so they will be noticed? That you will say, "Oh, wow, this is interesting. So I will push to my buyers this brand because it looks amazing." What are some, tips you can say so that the brand can be noticeable for the food service distribution company like yours?
Well, I have seen some very creative emails, and I really appreciate people who are trying to get past, call it the gatekeeper, and not as though like we're a really difficult traditional gatekeeper like in the phone sense, but I think catchy. I mean, right now for me, the filter, again, I'm only speaking from my lens because it's just that's the day that I live in, and I'm cycling through 300-400 emails per day. You got to try and not just keep hitting delete. You just want to like, okay, all right, I got to give each some due process. They've reached out to us, and I want to make sure I give a fair chance, but a fair look. And so, because I have the ability to know what we carry and know what might be of interest, if I see some similar products, I will respond to them and say, thank you for reaching out to us. We have this form that they fill out online. And they can just tell us a bit about who, what, where, when. But I think from a perspective, what do you recommend? It's that sometimes if we're not interested, we have to make sure we tell them, your product's not going to work for us. Thank you for reaching out. Otherwise, they'll continue to hit us up on some sort of a sequence campaign of maybe they didn't get the first 17 emails. Like, no, we got them. So it's a bit arduous, but just good communication, clean, concise emails. If you're using the email method, simple. State, don't try to, vomit all over the person who wants to read your article. Show a picture of your product. Tell us what, just really quickly, what are the benefits, and don't be ashamed to just throw some prices out there. This is your cost. This is what the suggested retail is. I mean, for us, we like boom, 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 like it, go. Let's get you an appointment and let's roll. And but the other way, they can send samples. That's not necessarily always a cost-effective method, but might be a follow-up to say, if there's some interest, immediately get some samples into the hands of the buyers so they can, again, touch it, taste it, feel it, and so we can make a decision whether this will be a good market fit.
Got it. How important to have like the good design of your product? So whatever it's a bottle or a pack, what do you think? Is it like necessary for you to see, wow, looks great, and that would be the trigger for you to try it?
Sure. So you're probably referencing more the retail component of our business, and that would be working with our grocery stores and gas stations and that type of component. Absolutely. Today's world, you know how it is, marketing. I mean, you look at billboards, what catches your eye? It's colors, it's simplicity, it's flash, it's flair. So more so into the food service market. I mean, cooks are just like, just give me a cardboard box, I want my product and throw it in the pot and go. Probably not as important, nor so in the bakery side, and that's why you have a warehouse full of just brown boxes. So yeah, I think there's definitely some draw. I think companies spend a lot of money researching how to make things stand out, and probably you can attest. I've seen just a lot of the marketing dumbed down, trying to just catch eyes in a very simplistic manner. People now are used to seeing, I think, really basic icons on their phone, and they have a quick connection to, I got to sort through all my icon, and it's the easiest little logos that get you the biggest amount of win. And so from a marketing perspective, I do love the logo concepts, and I'm a big logo guy to jump down the rabbit hole and build one, and there's nothing funner than that, but simplicity is key.
Got it. Yeah, I agree with you. So, like, taking this opportunity, I will share a couple of words about SimplyDepo. So, SimplyDepo is the platform who serves brands and distributors in order to manage for them the entire wholesale operations and field execution. And the idea was to create the product which would be very, very easy to use. So there is like no issues for non-techie people to start using such kind of software, because usually when we are looking on the giants on the market, right? So the onboarding process is so complicated and the user experience so complicated that you need like literally a year to get used to that software, right, to that flow. And with SimplyDepo, we're kind of guaranteed that any brand can be onboarded within like a week and started to use it very fast, very easy. So I think it's coming to basically literally every piece of our day-to-day life, because we're so overwhelmed with information that even for the branding, right, of the products, it should be visible, right? It should be bright, but it also should be easy to digest. So you cannot put like 20 words anymore, on your package. So otherwise, you just cannot remember what was that. Got it. And what kind of challenges do you currently see in the food service and distribution businesses? So, like, what are the biggest struggles, do you think, are happening now?
Well, yeah. Well, how long do you want to do this interview with?
About 3 hours. Let's start.
Right. We could talk. Let's air out our issues. No, I think just in general, just to kind of summarize in the food service industry, and especially specifically in distribution, there's so many ways to lose. There's just, when it comes time for, I mean, there's great ways to win. I don't want to come out as the Mr. Negative, but in the reality of the world is there's great opportunity, because the first opportunity is obviously with the amounts of people we have, population growth and demand, and people are now, the trends and how people are consuming foods, whether they're face to face at the retail store, they just want to click that Amazon button or whatever, their DoorDash, and get their product right to them. When the day is done, everyone's got to eat. But to get those products, I think, to those people has been probably, everyone's biggest concern. So logistics is a big one, trying to get product across the country, whether you want to get to certain markets, whether you have, how are you doing your distribution? But in terms of software, as you had mentioned, SimplyDepo, that strikes really, really close to my heart, because there also is another challenge. I also spearheaded our entire ERP infrastructure. And I can tell you, I think most of the gray hair on my head, comes from finding a good software that can do what you want it to do and do it effectively. And I saw SimplyDepo software, and I got to tell you, I mean, you guys are an amazing disruptor, because from what was traditionally given to distribution companies like us, you have to give over, a lot of money and, all this programming and boarding time. And you're talking, we're gonna take 3 months and we're gonna go ahead and get you up and running. And then once you get up and running, you got to continue to feed off these big checks. And of course, you're gonna have, then they want to bolt on this and bolt on that. And why you look at the pie in the sky opportunity with trying to get distribution going, you kind of thinking, well, software's supposed to be one of those that really is supposed to make your life easier and move more efficiently. And it does. And so I'm a big fan of what software can do. But what you guys are doing on the software side, being able, and I saw your screens and saw the operation, I'm just like, wow, it's you've now are given the opportunity for a startup CPG brand, even a advanced brand, to get into the hands of, here's a business plan, here's a platform. You want to go distribution, where you guys are delivering it up to them on a plate and making it, again, simple. And that's what's necessary in this industry, because with all the software and the AI and the technology that's around, there's a lot of eye candy everywhere. And I think that's a really big component of being a successful CPG brand. You've got to be able to manage what's in your warehouse, how you're going to sell it, who are your customers, how you're going to route your trucks, how are you going to communicate your product? How do you stay on top of things? How do you forecast? Those are the things that, you know, we buy these expensive softwares for, but I mean, that's your epicenter. I mean, that's your baby. Aside from, you know, hey, where is it at in the warehouse? And how do you make sure that you're competitive? And are you doing special pricing? And all of that is what makes distribution a beautiful opportunity and a beautiful monster. And so you just have to try and plug all the holes possible, and that's where software is can do it, but it could also backfire on you. So
got it. So in other words, you're saying that one of the biggest challenge right now for the distribution in the food service businesses would be the digitalization and the right tools which will allow them to work more productively, right? And automate most of the processes, because they used to be probably like a pen and paper, right?
Yeah, they have. Well, as a matter of fact, one of the companies that we acquired, literally all of their everything was pen and paper. I'm like, oh my. So really, okay, this will be great. We can digitize this. But yeah, it's amazing how, and you know what? We can't laugh too hard, because there are a lot, not just there's thousands of companies still pen and paper, just trying to keep it simple. And while I admire that, we just kind of have to ignore it. We're like, listen, you have to got to move forward here. And so yeah, there's still a lot of the people that are in the like the C-store industry that are just they want to call somebody and place an order, and I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I have still a couple. We have a fax machine still, because we have a handful of customers that's their technology. So I'm like, okay, very. If you want to send me a telegram, I mean, we'll take the order. So software plays a big role, because you don't want to exclude anybody at any front. You want to be able to make it as easy as possible for customers, whether they're giving it to a person and face to face, or whether they're with the phone, or whether they're using an app, or whether they're placing it online. So we have so many platforms, so many different ways, and software is the only way to scale your business today efficiently. Bottom line.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the kind words. So you may I catched your phrase. You said that the SimplyDepo is a disruptor, right? In the space. So question here: do you think this is realistic to change the behavior of the entire industry, of the way how the wholesale work, right? The way what kind of tools they need to use, and maybe even get rid of the pen and paper approach, because we live in the digital era. So do you think it's like possible? If yes, then within what time frame you think?
Well, I think the obviously this type of technology, I mean when you look at technology as a whole, it's not new. I mean, obviously this has been around for a while, and the adaptation's been really good. I think we've been, I think you look at maybe 15, 20 years already into this technology of procurement and how to replenish sets. But it's been a big challenge for us, because we have such a wide, diverse, audience of people who, some people know technology, some people don't. Some people are still more in the simplistic mindset of, well, I just talked to so-and-so and I placed my order, and that's okay. But it pulls my hair out. But sometimes I'm like, well, these apps are so intuitive, and the online order is so easy. So there's some people who are still a little scared, of it. But I think the adoption rate is climbing. I think it's going to be the platform in which that's going to really drive the business going forward into the future. There's no question. And I think the platform that you guys have built is absolutely gorgeous. And I think it just, again, keep it simple. And I think because of the simplicity, you're probably going to win over a lot of people who are having that reservation. How many of us now have to get that call from our parents, on a tech question, on an iPhone, when it's like, Mom and Dad, there's only one button on this thing. That it's pretty simple, but we'll walk you through. So you have to have that simplistic approach, and I think you guys are spot on in making it as simple as possible. But I don't want to downplay how robust that system is and what it needs to be, and that you guys have nailed it. So.
Great, great. Thank you very much again for your kind feedback. So we're really happy to hear such feedback, and we are really happy to help all of those companies who are our clients to grow their business. So I will mention one more initiative which we are planning to launch with SimplyDepo, and it's called Simply Connect. And I know that, Chad, you're going to be part of that movement, of that community. So that this question would be kind of also the validation. How do you perceive that this Simply Connect, right? Its value and what it can bring to the market. So can you share a little bit so far? What do you know and why you think this is important for all of the market players? And here I'm talking about distributors, food service companies, brands, merchandisers, and maybe others. So please.
Yes, I'm familiar with Simply Connect, and I think this is going to be a game changer. And I think for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier in this call, just some of the challenges that, and you can already hear. So I mean, if you're just a CPG, if you're a startup, even if you are just a manufacturer, and what's your goal? Well, you want to start distributing your product all over the place. And so what do you need to do? You have to go through all these rigorous channels, and you got to go to these conventions, and you got to go ahead and try and find the right people and connect with distribution channels and try to make those things work within your business plan. And I think and obviously from my perspective, you heard it like, wow, so you're like a gatekeeper. So these guys are trying to give me their product, trying to reach out and I'm kind of like not giving them obviously the best time of day all times. I think Simply Connect is kind of that next level where you can have a beautiful platform for everybody to understand. Okay, wow, you do this and that. Okay, great. Are you looking for distribution over here? I think it's kind of like it's the Facebook, if you will, or the LinkedIn, if you will, that really connects all the players that are important in the industry and opens up that conversation. And I think right there, right now, you guys are looking to swing this one out of the park, because I believe that could be really a game changer if it's positioned correctly, and it allows just for some really simple flow through and communication, because that's why you have these massive conventions that you got to walk for, 4 days. You put on 30,000 steps, and there's just thousands and thousands and thousands of these products that are great. But if you miss that aisle, if you miss that one guy, you're like, you missed your opportunity, And so I think having that platform like this is going to be a game changer, to be able to have a nice, clear communication about opportunities to get product out to the market.
Nice. Thank you. And for the 86 food service, what would be, I think, the 3 key benefits you expect to receive for yourself from the Simply Connect community?
Oh, it'll be great. Dial in. We're looking for X product, and to see who has it or what other opportunities are out there. In our market, especially in our C-store channels, we're always looking for new products. And sometimes it's nice to get a nice exclusive, so that your distribution guy down the street can't get, so we're the guy who can get it. So yeah, I love to be first to the market, to be able to grab a product that's hot, and that can back itself up. So being able to maybe tap into that database to know, okay, wow, these guys looks like they're really moving, and get a sense of what kind of growth they're experiencing, and maybe find out about what they're maybe in a market, say like on the East Coast, and they're not even in the Midwest. And I'm completely blind to the growth the hockey stick growth that they're seeing. And maybe I need to tap into that to see if I can help them, help me, and then get their product out. So it's a win-win-win across the board when you start putting those connections together for these guys. And I think the platform's only going to be, it'll be amazing.
Okay. Great. Got it. So, yeah, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts today. Maybe any closing words, any message to the community from
the community
in the end of this interview. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, it's evolving. And I mean, technology right now is a beautiful thing, for on all levels. And we haven't even tapped into AI just yet. And I think that's obviously that's top of conversation for everything. And it's already here. It's already here in our industry. And but I think in general, I appreciate you having me come on and just talk a little bit about our industry and certainly how everything is one big family, and it's a matter of just finding the right platform to make things work. And you guys have done a really good job presenting yourself in the industry, and I look forward to seeing how the growth comes together. And then certainly with Simply Connect is going to be really beneficial because software and the networking, I mean, and what we do, we're one of thousands of distribution points, and so I think it's going to be something that's going to be a great benefit to all of us.
Great. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for everyone to be today with us. So we had a wonderful conversation with Chad Wisneski today, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing at 86 Foodservice, which is based in Chicago. So my name is Alex, CEO of the SimplyDepo. So wish everyone a wonderful day and stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Alex. Take care.